are kids who could take 5,000 shots a day, and they're never going to shoot it like Steph Curry. If you do the equivalent on the academic side and you take 5,000 reps or something, it's going to show up in your grades and your test scores.
Part of the program, of course, you're covering the academic side. I'm covering the sports side because, we've talked about this before. The better your grades, the less good you have to be at basketball. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. I mean, if you're really good at basketball, then the less your grades have to be. So it's really important to be working towards both, especially if basketball is what you want to do. I always tell people to use basketball. So like, as I see it, the academic side seems like it's within your control. You might be ignorant of a lot of stuff. That's why the program is here. But the athletic side, you just look to get as good as you can at the things that coaches are looking for. That's usually what I find myself teaching is, I travel and I train a lot of colleges, the guards and wings. And usually what I see is what the kid and the parent are trying to impress coaches, and what the coaches are actually looking for are two very different things. But is that pretty much how you would articulate the two? I got my academics, I got my basketball side, one I can control, and one gives me a better chance to do what I eventually want to do.
I absolutely believe it that way. Just like everything else, there are people who are born with a higher capacity to learn, and just, people are born with photographic memories and just, at that high level, just like with basketball. Right. Like LeBron James was made in a lab. He had the right body, the right level of athleticism. All he had to do was add the hard work to it, and he was pretty much guaranteed to make it to the NBA. Right. And I think, there are people that are like that academically. But the vast majority of people, like in the NBA, are there because they worked hard. And I believe on the academic side, like if you put in the work, it will absolutely show. There are kids who could take 5,000 shots a day, and they're never going to shoot it like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
If you do the equivalent on the academic side and you take 5,000 reps or something, it's going to show up in your grades and your test scores. Right. So there is no doubt that the academic stuff is absolutely in your control. The problem is what it requires. It requires for a lot from the kid, and it requires a lot from the parent in making sure that the kid stays focused on it. Until it becomes a habit. Right. Like I said, like when my son was in the first grade or in kindergarten, and like if he didn't get a smiley face, we was talking about it. Right. And that was me basically trying to train his muscle that, like, look, when I go to school, I got to be on my business. Mm-hmm. So by the time he got to the point where he was getting close to junior high, his muscle had been trained to the point where that was his default state. Right. So, I believe as long as the parent and the kid is willing to put in the work, that the academic stuff is, I should say, being good enough academically to help yourself on the basketball side, it's what's within your grasp, and you can control that.
A lot of the parents, after we do the academic or college prep seminars, and you're given the Cliff Note version, the very loose end version. So now what we've done is created a program so parents could do it. So my suggestion to anybody watching this is set up a call on my website, starplayers.com, with Lonzy for the academic side. And then you can set up a call with me for the athletic side of things on how you need to develop your game and the things you need to look for. If you want to get to where you want to go, I think you have to plan your way there. So definitely set up a call so we can start getting you on the right track and focusing on the right things. Again, if y'all need some nuggets, y'all know to reach out to me on my website, and I'll definitely either get you in touch with him if you can't through the website, or I'll get in touch with you myself.